It's that time again. Welcome to the best webinar in town, HumanWare Live. Let's introduce your host from the windy city of Chicago. Currently sheltering in place, please welcome HumanWare's brand ambassador of blindness products, Peter Toussaint. And from all the way across the pond, also sheltering in place, but doing so with everyone's favorite accent, please welcome HumanWare's Braille product manager, Andrew Flattress.
Andrew, what's good?
Oh, it's not bad here today. It's raining here in the UK where I am.
Isn't it always raining in the UK? Doesn't it rain every day?
The last few days it's been beautiful.
I love it. Welcome everybody. It is HumanWare Live on Tuesday, April 28th. We've already been at this a month and a half, so we are back. It is noon Eastern time here in the United States. Thank you for joining us. We are doing it a little bit differently today. I have a camera, which I don't normally use, but I'm going to be talking about, and we're going to be working with the Victor Reader Trek/Stream. So we're going to be talking about sort of navigating books and working with books. And then I'm going to toss it over to Mr. Andrew, and he's going to talk to us about working with locking down applications. So if you're in an educational setting or you want to restrict access to certain apps, you can certainly do that. We'll be talking about ways to make that happen. We also have some news, and I will let Andrew lead with the news, so to speak. So Andrew, what is the news that you want to give HumanWare Live?
Exciting news. So obviously we mentioned a few webinars ago that we are looking to do a monthly or prize draw, which will be done on a monthly basis. So once a month, we will be doing at HumanWare Live a monthly prize draw where you can get to win several prizes, from a refurbished stream to 1-hour training sessions to $50 Amazon gift cards. So we'll be looking at starting that prize draw on the 7th of May. Now, in order to participate in this draw, you will need to register. So you'll need to register for the webinar. And also, the 7th of May webinar is going to be a special webinar. We're actually introducing a special guest. I'm not going to tell you too much information at the moment. More will be revealed on current newsletter blasts. So if you haven't already subscribed, visit humanware.com. And at the very bottom of the home page, there is a subscribe button. Okay, subscribe to HumanWare's newsletter, and you'll be informed of more information how you can register to that upcoming webinar. You will need to be attended. So those that don't try to register and not attend. You have to attend because the draw will be done live. And if you're not present at the webinar, unfortunately, we can't offer you the prize. Okay, so that is the news.
That is the news, and please stay tuned for that. Those just sort of, registering details. We're not going to have that today, so it will be on our website. You will receive it in the newsletter. We'll also share that information on Facebook if you follow HumanWare, so keep that in mind. So we're looking forward to it. That will be awesome. We're also looking forward to seeing my hand, because I have a webcam, and you're going to, for those of you who are sighted, you can see my hand push buttons on a Victor Reader. This will be on a Trek, but the same will apply to a stream. So I'm going to take over screen sharing, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the buttons on the Victor Reader product, and then we're going to get into actually navigating some books, working with bookmarks, highlight bookmarks, and doing a little bit of go-to and just some basic navigation. Again, the stream, and I'm going to share it here, so give me 1 second. Let me share my screen. We are going to go here. We're going to go to share. We don't need sound today. And let me do this. Sorry, I'm getting all right. Now, what do you see what's going on here, Andrew? For some reason.
I don't. Nope.
All right, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We have some. There we go. All right, now, Mr. Andrew.
Yes, now I can see the famous hands of Peter.
Oh boy, so famous. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at how we're able to use our Victor Reader Stream or Trek to work with books. pretty much everything I'm going to talk about will apply to even the first generation stream. We're not going to get into the connectivity side of things today. This is really about working with the book products. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually mute my speech because otherwise I'll hear lots and lots of things going on. So let me do that. And all right. Now, with the product, so we use the stream or the track. For those of you who don't have one or have never used one, it is really, think of it as a Kindle or sort of a Nook, sort of an audio book or media consuming device for somebody who is blind, who doesn't want to use a touchscreen or a smartphone sort of device to do so, or a computer, right? It really is a way to get all audio content sort of in one spot. So it will play Daisy books. You can record with it, one-touch recording. It will allow you to consume various types of audio information, books from RNIB, books from the National Library Service or CELA, right, depending on different countries you're in, Vision Australia. You're able to put books on the device via USB, also via SD cards. There are many ways to get content onto the device. And the device, what we go for with the device, what we're aiming for, is a way for us to consume audio content. Now, we can also stream audio content on the second generation stream and on the Victor Reader Trek. The Trek also contains GPS, and it will let us kind of use that to navigate our surroundings. Pretty soon we'll be able to do that virtually. I know some of you may have heard that on a demonstration I did in a different show, but we're able to bring in the GPS component on the Victor Reader Trek. So again, reading books, consuming audio content, one-touch recording, that sort of thing. And this is meant to be kind of a dive into how we navigate books. And why is this so useful? Because obviously we can use our iPhones, we can use Android phones, we can use our computers to navigate books. Why would we want to use something like a stream or a Trek? What's the whole point? And we found that in the world, right, it's our most popular product. We have over 100,000 users of the Victor Reader line of products, which for a company like ours is massive. We don't have nearly that many users of many of our other products. So it's very neat that it's really been so successful for decades at this point. I'm going back, I used my first generation Victor Reader back in 2008 in terms of the stream, and we've kind of evolved it. So want to talk a little bit about the buttons. You have a standard numeric keypad that you're looking at, right? We control this, again, on the top face, we have a standard numeric keypad. You're going to move up, down, left, and right using the 2 and 8 keys to go up and down respectively, or 4 and 6 to go left and right respectively. Above the keypad, we have 3 buttons. And again, this would be on the second generation stream and the Victor Reader Trek from left to right. The square button is the go-to key. The middle button is going to be your button that switches your modes, so offline or online bookshelves in the Trek case orientation. And then you also have a diamond key, which is going to be used to insert and manage bookmarks, and we're going to be diving into that. Below our keypad, we have an oval button, an oval shape. That is our sleep timer. And on from left to right, on the very bottom of that top edge of the device, your top face, you have a rewind, a play, and a fast forward key. So you can use those as well. On the left edge of the device, you have a power button that is furthest away from you, again, all the way at the top of that left edge. And below that, you have 2 volume keys, or they're really up and down sort of toggles, because you can use them to toggle speed, to toggle pitch or tone, various things depending on what it is that you're doing. On the top of the device, so the top edge, the edge that would be facing away from you, you'll find an SD card slot, and you will also find a headphone jack, and that would be used to, again, to put headphones in the device, and you can actually work with, hardwired headphones. If you're using a Victor Reader Trek, you could use Bluetooth as well, which is what I will be using because my mixer didn't show up. So I am going to be using a Bluetooth speaker up against my boom on my microphone in order for everyone to hear what I'm doing. On the right edge of the device, we have a record button. If you're looking at a second generation stream, right, you're going to have a line in jack as well. And that would be used for certain types of recording, which we do not have. And many devices today just don't have ways of bringing that in. Lots of devices use 2-way audio today. So it's not something that unfortunately has worked with, and I learned this last night when I was digging around with trying to use MIDI and modules and all sorts of things to record a very old keyboard that I didn't think was very old, that I just cannot get to work with any modern interface today. So have to look at some other solutions, which I'm on, but we'll always come across things that might just not work the way we used to have them work, or the way we were comfortable with them working before. So keep that in mind if you're missing your line in jack, right? You're gonna have to figure out some other ways to get that audio out or in, and that can be doable or undoable, and it's gonna take some problem solving and working with. On the bottom of the device, we use our USB, right? We have our USB port for micro USB, and that would be able to charge the device, as well as working with cartridges from the National Library Service, or connecting our device to the computer if we need to. But want to talk a little bit about navigation. So again, when we work with the device itself, we're primarily, the benefits here are we don't have to learn lots of gestures, right? It's single push button sort of operation, and it works with with the various shapes. We're looking for a very tactile sort of interface that will give us the ability to easily manipulate the device. When I want to move through various bookshelves, right, and again, this is really going to, from this point forward, to be applying to the second gen stream kind of in the Victor Reader track, but the circular button above the number 2 moves me between my various bookshelves. Now, we have 3 sort of groupings here. You have your offline, your online, and then you have orientation on your Victor Reader track. If you're using a Victor Reader stream, you would just have offline and online. What that means is online is where you would go to download services, right? So maybe I would stream an internet radio station. I might look something up on Wikipedia. I might use it to manage podcasts, or I might use it to download a book directly via Wi-Fi from a service like Bookshare or something like that. If, or many other libraries, but if the offline bookshelf is activated, that's where we're looking at what is on our SD card. So it might be notes that I've recorded, audio notes, might be books or music, or various types of content, right? The Victor Reader products will support text files, will support BRF, will support various sorts of documents as well, which could be utilized. Now, here I am going to talk about navigating books, and we're going to navigate a couple of talking books, and one of these I got from the National Library Service here in the United States, just to show what a DAISY audiobook would look like. Then I also will look at kind of a Bookshare book, but on Thursday we're actually going to be downloading books from Bookshare and see how that's done in browsing categories and things like that, again, to give you a sense of how that would work. Now, if I want to move between those bookshelves, I can push this circular button. If I do that on my Victor Reader Trek, I will hear offline, online, or orientation. On my stream second generation, you're not going to hear offline and online, but you will know that if you get to, right, internet radio and some of those things, those are only found in the online bookshelves, because you're not going to be working with that on the offline. So I'm going to press my circular button above the number 2.
Online bookshelves, NLS barred.
Right, and you hear it says online, whoop, just hit my camera, if I hit it again.
Orientation.
GPS ready.
This would be orientation if I were looking to use orientation, which I am not, I'm sitting in my home. But if I press my circular button again, we will go to offline.
Offline bookshelves, talking books, 3, books, 2.
All right, and so once we're in our offline or online bookshelves, we can use the number 1 key to move between the various bookshelves that are offered. Again, things go in categories here. So a talking book is not going to be in the same place as a note, or as a text file, or as a music that I might have downloaded. So the number 1 on our numeric keypad moves us through those bookshelves. Currently I'm in talking books, but you will hear if I press the number 1, I will move through these bookshelves.
Other books, 1, book, text files, 2, files, 1, notes, 21, notes, 1, book, 1, other audio, talking books, 3.
And back around. So again, if you only have a couple types of content on your SD card, you're only going to hear that maybe you only have notes and talking books. If you have text files or music or other audio, you are going to then have access to those bookshelves every time you press the number 1. In this case, we're looking at talking books because this is about navigation, and really I want to focus on bookmarks and moving around a book. When you get to a bookshelf, you are placed in a list of books and you move through them with your left and right key. So think of 4 and 6. You're moving left and right through your list of books. If I press my 6 key, I will move. I'm currently focused on book 2. If I press my 6th key, I will move to book 3 in my list.
3. Stalin's Englishman, Guy Burgess, The Cold War, and the Cambridge Spy Ring by Andrew Loney.
Oh, does that sound captivating? And my wife will tell you, I will read textbooks for fun. Sometimes they're very long and excruciatingly boring, and I find them wonderfully fascinating. So we have a book here about the Cold War and Guy Burgess. If, again, that's book number 3, if I press my 4 key, I will be moving left. I move to my previous book.
2.
Chicago Bungalow, the.
Now you'll hear that that book is a Daisy textbook. So you hear the synthetic speech, whereas the other book I had, my 3rd book about Guy Burgess, was an actual audiobook, meaning that it has human narration. So we're going to look at that one first. But if I wanted to move left again, I would move to my 1st book.
1.
A History of World Societies,
Oh.
Volume 1 to 1600.
Now that one I actually have not read. That was, I was working with somebody. Don't think I read A History of World Societies through 1600. I was joking a little bit about the textbook piece, but this definitely is not one that I would do some pleasure reading with in terms of that. But I want to come over to book number 3. We're going to look at this Guy Burgess book. So I'm going to find it and I'm going to press play.
2. 3.
Stalin's Englishman, Guy Burgess, The Cold War, and the Cambridge Spy Ring.
Now, I have this, again, there are processes to get this activated and things. Again, this is not about activating your player with these various services. You're going to have to do, kind of get that sort of piece down. But if I press play, I will enter this book. If you press play and it says you need to get this registered, that is going to require you to go through a process. And you're going to want to contact tech support, and they can help you through the various process depending on the library that you're trying to work with. Now, I'm going to press play.
Stalin's Englishman.
And we are now playing the book. Now I'm going to pause this because when we move around in a book, we use what are called levels, right? We have level navigation, much like when we looked at our Easy Reader, we saw that there were sort of, in the Easy Reader Plus app, we had different levels. Same thing is true here. When we're in a book, generally, Daisy books are broken up into level 1, level 2, sometimes even 3 levels. And then you might have, in Daisy textbooks, you might even have page or paragraph or screen or different levels you can get to. And you're going to use your 2 and 8 keys to do that. So if I press my 8 key, I will hear, or my 2 key, I will move up and down and hear all the levels available to me in this particular book. They will not always be the same.
Time jump. 1 minute.
Okay, so this would be if I want to move forward by a minute.
Phrase.
Here's phrase.
Level. 1.
Here's level 1.
Level. 2.
Here's level 2.
Time jump.
And back to time jump. So I just hit 8 a bunch of times, and you heard that I was moving, cycling through the levels available to me in this book. Now, there is no rhyme or reason, right? All books are marked up differently, so if you're hearing different things, that's okay. That's just the way it goes. Daisy is great because it does allow for levels to be added, and there are programs that can create Daisy files. But what's cool here is I know there are 2 levels, and generally level 1 is going to be the beginning and the end of your book. Level 2, so again, I'm going to press my 2 key and come up to level 2 because I want to go up 1 option.
Level. 2.
This generally is going to be your chapter sort of navigation, generally, right? Level 3, if one exists, it oftentimes will be sort of sub-levels. So if you're reading a textbook, you might just not want Unit 3 or Unit 4. You might have 3.1 or 3.2 or 3.3 and so on. So when we get to a level we want to move by, we can then press the 6 key or the 4 key to move forward and back at that level. So right now I'm at level 2, and if I press my 6 key, I will be moving forward by level 2, and it should be chapters.
Library of Congress annotation.
Here's an annotation.
Contents.
Contents.
Preface.
The preface.
Prologue.
The prologue.
Full circle. 1.
And here's chapter 1.
Beginnings.
The beginnings.
2. School days.
And so on, right? I'm using my 6 key to move forward at that level. The opposite of 6 is 4. So if I press 4, I will jump backward at level 2. So I'm going to hit 4.
2. School days. 1. Beginnings.
And so on, right? I'm going to pause. So I just hit my pause button. Now at this point, you'll see, you can quickly, if I wanted to go to chapter 5 or something, could do that. You can also go to a certain part of the book, right? The go-to key, that key above the number 1, our square key here, is our go-to. What this will do is it will let us, depending on what's available in our book, we can go to various elements or a certain place. In an audiobook like this, generally there is not page markup, unless you have a special Daisy book that'll have both text and audio. Generally speaking, audiobooks, especially from services like your library services, will contain sort of chapter markup and then percentage markup, where you can go to a certain percent of the book. But usually you aren't able to go to a page. But if you wanted to go to a certain place, I could press this go-to key.
Go to page.
Here's our go to page. But if I try to type in the number 5 here, nothing happens, right? It's not available. So if you're pressing it, you get an error. Obviously, you can't go to a certain page that does not contain that type of markup. But if I press the go-to key again,
Go to heading.
I could go to a specific heading, right? I might go to heading 7 or something, depending on how my book is marked up. If I push it again,
Go to time.
go to time, right? Maybe you knew you fell asleep at 5 hours and 7 minutes or something. You could certainly do that.
Go to page.
And then we're back to go to page. Sometimes books will offer various options here, just like levels, right? If your book contains the ability to go to a percentage or something, you might have that, or in a podcast or something, right? It's just going to depend. That go-to key is very important. But what's also cool is we're going to talk about bookmarks. So I want to bookmark something. So I'm reading this book, and we're just going to set a bookmark right here at the beginning. But if I push play,
Beginning of book.
Stalin's
and let's come to chapter 1 here.
Congress annotation. Prologue. 1. Beginnings.
Beginnings.
Guy Burgess's roots were in Kent, but the family were originally Huguenot.
All right, so I want to set a bookmark here.
Go to bookmark.
What I can do is I can press the diamond key above number 3. For whatever reason, maybe this is just, I just really wanted to remember that they were from Huguenot, or I just, really wanted to get as close to the beginning of the book as I wanted, or whatever it may be, or I'm tired and I want to stop reading right when I started, which is pretty crazy. Maybe I was that disinterested in Guy Burgess. But if I press that bookmark key, the first option is go to bookmark, and we don't want to go to a bookmark because we don't have any here yet. But if I press it again,
Insert bookmark.
I can insert a bookmark. And now when I want to insert, so again, I hit that diamond key, it says insert bookmark. I press the key to the right of 0, right, which is confirm. Also, if on the numeric keypad, you think of it as pound or your hashtag, but confirm is to the right of 0. So if I press confirm, again, I press my diamond key until it says insert bookmark, I press confirm.
Bookmark. 1. Inserted.
And it puts a bookmark in that I can now find very easily, and it's bookmark number 1. So again, you're able to drop bookmarks into your book, and I'll talk about how to go to them in a moment. But one thing that really is useful on the Victor Reader products is something that not many people know about, but if you're doing a lot of reading in college or research, and maybe you want to, kind of take a section of a book and bookmark it, and refer to it later. Maybe there's a couple sentences or something that's very meaningful, and you're thinking, gosh, I don't just want to bookmark this exact point. I want to bookend, right? I want to set a beginning and ending point of a bookmark. And you can do that in a book, and it's called a highlight bookmark. And I'll kind of show you how that works. So if I find somewhere, let's move to chapter 3 or 4. I'm going to use my 6 key and move forward.
2. 3.
All right, here's chapter 3. Now I am going to hit play,
In the
and we're going to hear this.
autumn of 1927, Guy Burgess returned to Eton.
All right, now again, is it very practical? Not quite, right? I mean, I don't know why I want to bookmark about 1927, but we're going to highlight bookmark this section. So what I can do is I find where I want to start my highlight bookmark, and you can use your rewind and fast forward keys to move forward by various amounts of time in your book, 10 seconds, a minute, whatever it might be. You can always use time keys to move around with your rewind and fast forward, or your 6 and 4 keys, depending on what you have your time jump level set to. However, if I find where I want this to start, what I can do is I can press my bookmark key.
Go to bookmark.
Again,
Insert bookmark.
one more time,
Start highlight bookmark.
to where it says start highlight bookmark. And what I can do is I can press confirm, which is to the right of 0,
Start position set.
and it sets a start position for this bookmark. I'm going to hit play.
Nigel had started the previous autumn, after a gap of almost 3 years. Frank Dobbs was only too happy to have him back and obtained special leave for him to do so from the provost and fellows, writing,
All right, enough of that. And what I can then do is I am going to end my highlight bookmark. So I'm going to press my bookmark key,
End highlight bookmark.
and you will hear it say end highlight bookmark, and I can press confirm.
Highlight bookmark. 2. Inserted.
And now I have, so my second bookmark is not just a bookmark, right? I have bookmark 1, but then I have highlight bookmark 2, meaning I've taken a chunk of that book that I can refer to later. And that's very cool when you're looking at remembering something for, you know, a paper you want to write or something like that, right? So I'm kind of bookending, or I'm setting a chunk of audio that I want to remove. And that can be very useful. So again, I'm going to add one more bookmark later because we're going to see what it's like when we have, let's say, 3 bookmarks in a book. So I'm just going to add a normal bookmark. Let's go forward to like chapter 7.
6.
Or 6.
Third man.
The Third Man. All right, I'm going to play this.
Returning to Cambridge for a 5th year, Burgess was back at M2 in Great Court.
Perfect. And let's insert a bookmark. So I'm going to press my bookmark key
Insert bookmark.
2 times and insert bookmark here, and it will say bookmark 3.
Bookmark. 3. Inserted.
Awesome. So at this point, I have 3 bookmarks in this book, right? Bookmark 1, which we know was way at the beginning. Bookmark 2 was some highlight bookmark that I set, you know, that little chunk of text. And now bookmark 3 here in chapter 6. So you can set, I think it's 99,999 bookmarks in a book. Why you would do that, or if you have the time to do that, I would love to know. If someone wants to put in there how many bookmarks you've had in a book, I would be fascinated if you can exceed a few hundred, but hey, anything's possible, right? We're giving you all the bookmarks you can possibly set. If you really want to do that, you can. But if you want to go to a bookmark, so I set this bookmark because it's where I stopped reading. Let's say I want to get back to bookmark number 1. How would I do that? How would I go to that bookmark? Well, if I press my bookmark key,
Go to bookmark.
until I hear it say go to bookmark, right? And that's generally going to be your first option. And then you type in the number of the bookmark that you want. So, or I can always, we can get into a list, but I'm going to type 1
1.
and press confirm.
Bookmark. 1.
And I will be moved to bookmark 1 where I can hit play. And remember, this is the beginning of our book,
Was to be important to him, and he was
and so on, right? If I want to look at a bookmark list, so again,
Go to bookmark. Insert bookmark. Start highlight bookmark. Bookmark list.
I can press the bookmark key until I hear it say bookmark list. And now I can use 4 and 6 to move through my bookmarks.
Bookmark. 1.
was to be important to him, and he was to
Okay, and then you'll hear,
Highlight bookmark. 2.
Nigel had started the previous autumn after a gap of almost
right, and it says highlight bookmark, and then it's going to play this bookmark. I can press my 6 key again and move to the next one in the list.
Bookmark. 3.
supposedly working on his thesis and supervising first-year students.
And so on, right? And that was just a regular bookmark. So we can look at them in a list. We can go to a specific one, and finally we can remove them. So I want to get rid of bookmark number 1. It is just totally unnecessary. I'll just go to the chapter 1 if I want it, right? I can get rid of it. So what I can do is I can press that bookmark key.
Go to bookmark. Insert bookmark. Start highlight bookmark. Bookmark list. Remove bookmark.
Until I get to remove bookmark. So again, hit that diamond key until you get to remove bookmark, saying I want to get rid of number 1. So I'm going to type the number 1 and press confirm.
1.
And remember, confirm is to the right of 0.
Bookmark. 1. Removed.
All right. Now, one little trick here. If you want to remove all of your bookmarks, you can do that. And the way you're going to make that happen is you're going to come into where it says remove bookmark. So I'm going to press my diamond key.
Go to bookmark. Insert bookmark. Start highlight bookmark. Bookmark list. Remove bookmark.
And now what I can do if I want to get rid of all of them, because maybe I have 27 bookmarks here and I don't want to individually get rid of just one. The trick is press the number 9 5 times. So you're going to say, I want to get rid of all 9,995 bookmarks. And what that will do is it will let you get rid of them all. So I'm going to do that.
9. 9. 9. 9. 9.
5 times, press confirm.
Bookmarks in this book. Removed.
Boom. We just cleared them all out. So again, something that is very useful in terms of bookmarking, knowing that you can retain your place, being able to find that spot, and getting in. We can spend a lot of time on the stream/Trek, and I know people are probably throwing questions and all sorts of things up, which we can get to, but this is a very, very small sort of sample size of how you can use something like a Victor Reader product to efficiently and effectively move around a book. Keep in mind, if you hit something and you don't know where you went, so let's say I accidentally went into the menu and I hit the number 7.
Menu. Navigation and playback.
And I thought, oh shoot, why did I do that? If to the right of 0 we have confirm, to the left of 0 we have cancel. So your star key, or to the left of 0, is cancel.
Leaving menu.
And it will get you back out of where you need to be. And again, this is something, there are phenomenal audio tutorials out there. There is lots and lots of material that will get you using your Victor Reader product. So, you know, if you need some help there, it's available. There are many ways to learn, and it would also just has a tremendous user group and a very large user community. So you can always bounce things off of various lists and so on. But again, just wanted to give a little bit of a intro because of what we'll be doing on Thursday, where we will be joined by somebody from Benetech, so from Bookshare, talking about what's new and how they're doing. We want to hear how our partners are, and we will be looking at how we can download a book from Bookshare, and it will be the similar practice to how we download from various library services. Andrew, I am done.
Yeah, and that's a great shout about mention about next week's webinar. A few people had commented on, you know, are we showcasing on how to access books from Bookshare? Today's session, as Peter's just shown, is how to navigate within books. But Thursday is where we introduce how we can access Bookshare from the stream and the Trek, and including a special guest from Benetech. So without further ado, let's go on to my section then, which is about the BrailleNote Touch Plus. So we'll come back to the Trek and stream and general questions at the end. But this session, next session now we're going to talk about is using the BrailleNote Touch and Plus, and not generally restricted to the Plus here. You can use this application on the original Touch, and it's called App Locker. So this App Locker application will be used to restrict access to certain apps, like, for example, the Play Store, or prevent changes on the Android side of things. So if you have a student that uses a Touch and you don't want them to mess around with various different Android settings, this is something for you. And again, if you don't want them to mess around with installing apps on the Play Store, again, this is something for you. It's something that could be used in an exam situation for sure. You may be restricted or may not be allowed to have access to the internet, or may not need to have access to the calculator. You can restrict those apps. So I'm going to just get myself set up. Peter, if you just want to give us a song, maybe. Okay, one moment.
Oh, Andrew, you do not want me singing. I could. I really could. I guess, fortunately, it wouldn't get pulled, right? If we tried to upload the video and I was singing, they wouldn't even know.
It wouldn't, no.
I definitely think, though, this is something that has been asked for a long time in terms of how to lock down apps. And what Andrew will be showing is one example of an app locker. There are many out there that will work, so please keep that in mind. There are many. This is one that we find to be accessible as of April 28th, 2020. For all we know, by April 30th, it could not work, and you might have to find a different solution. So please keep that in mind. These are third-party apps, and these are something that can change, but this is the one that I use and that I've recommended and that we see used in various places. So, Andrew, you are good to go.
Okay, awesome. So I've just share my screen and just confirm that you can hear my main menu.
Email.
Is that good,
Can you give it a little juice?
A little bit more volume.
Louder.
Little volume.
Internet. Chrome. Louder.
Yeah, you're good there.
Louder.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah, it's gold.
Volume set to 80%.
I've still got my Peter voice. I quite enjoy Peter voice on here.
That makes one of us.
Okay, so first I'm going to show where we can get this application. So on our previous webinars, we demonstrated on how we can install apps, how we can grab them from the Play Store. But I just want to make sure that I show you which application that we are going to be currently using. So in the Play Store,
Play Store.
I'm going to press enter there.
Play Store. For you. Main menu. Contacts. Keylist Play Store.
And
Play Store.
search, and press the letter S.
Show navigation drawer.
Okay.
Search for apps and games. Search for apps and games edit box.
Okay, and I'm just going to type in App Locker.
A P P L O C K E R.
Okay, so there's
Activate up button.
there is going to be quite a few various different app lockers. And as Peter was saying, that the one that we're demonstrating is the one that we know works quite well, and it's called Lock App Smart App Locker. I'm just going to navigate to it.
App Locker. Search Google Voice Search. App Locker. App Kaspersky App. Lock App. Smart App Locker and Any productivity installed.
Okay, so it's called Lock App Smart App Locker, and the developers is ANUJ Tanini, T-E-N-A-N-I. Okay, so if you want to search for that, search that through the Play Store. If you're still unable to find it, just give us a shout out on our HumanWare Live email address, and we can send you the direct link. Okay,
Main
so
menu. Contacts. Key list.
once you've installed that, that of course will be installed under your All Applications section. So if I go to All Applications by pressing the letter A from the main menu,
All applications.
and press Enter,
Main menu. All apps. Amazon Kindle.
and it will be installed with the name App Locker. So press
Amazon
A
Music.
and A again.
App Locker.
Okay, and press Enter.
App Locker. Enter PIN code.
Now, on the first sort of startup, the first experience, you will be prompted to type in a password. Because I've already typed in a password, it's asking me to type in a password. Now, the PIN code is navigable by your thumb key. So you actually navigate to the actual digits. So you're not inputting the numbers at this stage. So you're not putting number signs 1, 2, and 3. You're just navigating using your thumb keys. So I'm going to share with you all my password here. So,
1 2 button. 1 button. 2 button. 3 button. 4 button. App Locker. App Locker.
complex password there, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you'll be prompted that. So on the initial startup, you'll be asked to set your password up. Okay. Now, when you set your password up, and you then eventually get to this all sort of locked app screen and all app section. So it gives you information of what apps have been locked, and then gives you a list of all the apps that you've got installed that you can lock. Now, of course, because this is the first time that you're using the app, there will not be any apps that are locked. So as I go forward with my thumb keys.
Settings. Locked apps. All apps. Multi-page view. Grid. You have not locked any apps yet. Swipe right to add some.
Okay, and I'm going to go forward again just to go through what we have available here.
App Locker is not running. Tap here to start.
Okay, so we know the app locker is not running. So if you do want to actually run the app locker, you will need to press on that button here. But first, I'm going to show you how you lock an actual app. So we're going to lock the Play Store app. That's the first app that I'm going to lock. And I'm also going to lock the Android system because I want to prevent my student from accessing the Wi-Fi. So if you want to make sure that you disable yourself from the Wi-Fi, and then you want to make sure that you lock the application. Okay, so let's try that. So
Multi-page view. Grid. You have not locked any apps yet. All apps.
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to go to the All Apps section. So this will display all of my apps. I'm going to press Enter.
All apps.
And now it's just a matter of browsing through your apps and choosing the app that you want to lock. So I mentioned about Play Store.
Amazon browser, camera, canvas, class link, classroom, clock, contact, dictionary, docs, drive, drops, duo, e-files, fiber, Google, body, key, calc, key files, key, mail, key, key, up, daughter, keyword, KN, maps, on sync, photos, play movies, play news, Play Store, com.android.vending.
Okay, so there's the Play Store. I'm going to press Enter.
Lock Play Store, lock Play Store.
Okay, and we'll have options of cancel and OK. So I'm going to jump to the OK by pressing O.
OK button.
And press Enter.
App Locker. Play Store is now locked. Quick support. com.viewer.quicksupport.market.
Okay, so that's now selected it under the locked apps. But remember, I haven't pressed the tap here to start button. So if I go back to the main menu, the app will still be accessible at this stage. I'm also going to show you the application that you want to lock to prevent access to Android settings. And there is an option here called Settings. So if I jump to Settings by pressing S.
Settings.
First, let the navigation
Salesforce. com.salesforce settings. com.android.settings.
There we go. So there's a Settings, com.android.settings. That's the application that you want to lock to prevent access to changing anything to do with Android. So this could be, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth connections. It's a good one to use, certainly in the exam environment. So I'm going to press Enter there.
Block settings. Block settings.
And I'm going to press O for OK.
OK button. App locker. Settings is now locked. Teams. com.microsoft.teams.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the top of my view here by pressing space 1, 2, 3.
Top. Far Canvas student.
Okay, and I can press space
App locker.
space 1, 3 to jump at the very top. We talked about the differences between jumping to the top of your document and to the top section of your screen. So I just pressed Enter 1 and 3 there to jump to the very top of my app. And as I continue to go forward, I'm going to go to the locked apps just to make
Settings.
sure they're
Locked
there.
apps. Canvas student. com.instructure.candroid. App settings. Locked apps. All apps. Play Store. Settings.
Okay, so the Play Store and the settings have been selected to lock, and I'm now going to navigate to the App Locker is not running, tap here to start button.
App locker is not running. Tap here to start.
Okay, I'm going to press Enter.
Accessibility. Volume key shortcut. Keysoft.
Now on the press of this, if your App Locker is not running, you will be forwarded to the Android settings here. Because it's a service add-on, a service that Android offers, you do need to make sure that you switch it on. So when you do click on that button, you'll be forwarded to this new dialog page, the accessibility dialog page on Android, and we're going to go forward until we get to the App Locker of
Downloaded services. App locker off.
Okay, so App Locker is currently off. I'm going to press Enter here.
App locker. Turn on the app locker.
And I'm going to go to the On button.
Switch
on.
off. Alert. Use app locker. App locker needs to observe your actions, receive notifications when you're interacting with an app, retrieve window content, inspect the content of a window that you're interacting with. Cancel. OK.
Okay, so I'm going to press O for OK.
OK button.
And Enter.
App locker. Enter PIN code.
Okay, it's now going to confirm your PIN code. So this makes sure that the student doesn't just lock apps at their own will. Okay, so because you'll still need to enter your PIN code to do all of this. So I'm going to do
1 button. 2 button. 1 button. 2 button. 3 button. 4 button. App locker. Switch on.
Okay, so that is it. My App Locker is now turned on. If I just exit
Accessibility.
out and exit
App locker.
out again.
App locker. App locker is running.
So the status now within the App Locker, it says App Locker is running. So if I go back to the main menu, try to load the Play Store, or try to get to settings, let's have a look what happens.
Main menu. Contacts. Key list.
Okay, I'm going to jump to Play Store.
Play Store.
And I'm going to press Enter.
App locker. Enter PIN code.
Okay, so straight away it's asking me to enter the PIN code. Now, if you know the PIN, great, you'll have access. But if you don't know the PIN, then you'll be unable to access the Play Store at this stage. So that is we know that's been locked. Okay, we go back to the main menu.
Contacts. Key list.
And now we're going to go to the Android settings. Now, the quick way to get to the Android settings on the Touch Plus is enter with the letter Q. Alternatively, you can go to Options, and in Options menu, there is the options to access the Android settings. So let's press Enter with Q here.
App locker. Enter PIN code.
Okay, and again, it gives me the enter the PIN code. So I'm unable to change my Wi-Fi settings, my Bluetooth, or anything related to sort of the deeper sort of settings within my BrailleNote Touch Plus. Now, if I want to unlock them,
contacts,
okay,
key list.
At any point, just go back into the application. So let's go and find the
all
app.
applications. Main menu, all apps. Amazon Kindle. Amazon Music. App locker. App locker. Enter PIN code.
Okay, so again, you will be prompted with that PIN code. Otherwise, the student will be able to unlock those apps.
1 button, 2 button, 1 button, 2 button, 3 button, 4 button. App locker. Play Store.
Okay, and then the ones that are locked. So currently, I'm in my locked applications. You select the ones that you want to unlock. So I want to unlock the Play Store. So select Play Store.
Unlocked Play Store. Unlocked Play Store.
Okay, and there's an OK button.
OK.
So press O.
App locker. Play Store is now unlocked. Settings.
I'm going to do the same with the settings.
Unlock settings. Unlock settings.
And
OK button. App locker. Settings is now unlocked. App locker.
Okay, so even though the App Locker is running, I've just removed those from the locked app section. Let's try it out again. Back to the main menu.
Contacts.
Go back
key
to
list.
the Play Store.
Play Store. Play Store. App. Lock app. Smart app locker and any productivity installed.
Okay, and there we have straight access to the Play Store. And again, finally,
main menu.
the
Contacts.
Android
Key
settings.
list.
Enter with Q.
Settings. Connected devices. Bluetooth. Cast.
And there we go. And that's how you use the App Locker.
Right, and I think there are some out there that can be a little bit easier that will actually let you search for apps. You saw that when Andrew was locking, he had to move down through all of those in alphabetical order. That could be something to keep in mind. Again, there are thousands of these. There are so many ways to lock apps down. This could also be done in theory through mobile device management, depending on what your various districts are using and things. The other caveat here is if you're listening out there and you're a student and you want to get funny, right, and start locking apps down, you can absolutely, this is just like in the old days with our Braille terminal sort of modes on the Apex and other products, you can render them unusable. They'll have to come into us and we will have to reimage and do all sorts of things. So you, again, keep in mind, this is for those scenarios or situations where things need to be locked down from the administrative or from the teacher standpoint.
Good stuff. Okay, should we have a look at some questions, Peter?
I think there will be many questions, Andrew. I think we should definitely have a look at some questions.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so let's go through the chat section here.
So one just popped into the chat. What devices can the app locker be used on? It could be used on any Android device. There are ways to lock apps on iPhones, on Windows computers. I mean, it's just, this is specific to the Touch Plus, but you could use it on a BrailleNote Touch as well. There are always app locking programs out there. So
okay, so we have. Can you confirm the date? So this is from RJ. Can you confirm a date of when you'll be releasing the updates on the BrailleNote? So on our previous webinars, we did mention about a new update. So all I can say at this stage is we are still aiming for a May release. I'm unable to give you a fixed date, I'm afraid, RJ. Okay, so Emily Miller is looking forward to doing this. Just got a trek at summer camp about 2 years ago, so she's looking forward to hopefully, Emily, hopefully that's that session that Peter went through has benefited you.
Oh,
and
dive in, Emily. Dive in. Have fun. Explore.
This is from Tyler. Does your trek take a while to calculate routes? Mine takes upwards of 1 minute to calculate a route that's only 20 or so miles away.
So Tyler, that's something that we can take on the beta list. We know you're on there. I know sometimes the route calculation. There will be an update to the trek coming at some point in May. I think we're shooting for into June at some point. It is close. I've talked about it in certain spots, and yeah, I mean there are definitely at times you'll have some time for route calculation. So we can address that at when we're actually looking at those pieces. But I know that it's been brought up on the beta side of things. So
more suggestions about covering GPS on the trek? So I guess,
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Certainly do that. Okay. How do you end a highlight bookmark? So this is from Jane. Just to repeat that, we did cover that. Did you cover that?
So yep, when you want to end it, you're going to press your diamond key until your end bookmark and highlight bookmark, and then hit confirm.
Message from Kate. Will Audible books ever be supported with direct download? Is there a limit to the confirms sign of book or number of bookmarks? So I can answer the limit to the number of bookmarks. So that's the, is it 99,000?
99,998,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's crazy. I'd love to meet the person who actually does that. And
who has 100,000 bookmarks going on? Yeah.
So yeah, in regards to the Audible books ever being supported with direct downloads, we would love that to happen. I've got to say, we would love that to happen. We are in direct contact with Audible. Unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet, but who knows? We may have that happening at some point in the future. Okay, so RJ's having some issues with installing the app locker application on his BrailleNote Touch Plus. So that's very strange. Maybe it could be that you're restricted yourself on the Play Store, RJ. I don't know if you're using a school account from Play Store. That could be one of the reasons that I can think of. But other than that, it should install perfectly fine.
Yeah, I'd try it again, and who knows? It could be a restriction on your network. The app will certainly install. And again, I'm doing this, well, I guess you are too. You're doing it on the UK Play Store. I'm doing this from the US Play Store, and this is the app that I use. So maybe try a different app. If it's not installing for you, find a different app locker and do some problem solving and try to get whichever app locker you can get to work. I mean, they'll all work very similarly. Some are inaccessible, some are not very usable, some are great. So like anything, it's going to be some guess and check. I would definitely try to just download the app again, though.
Message from Joshua. Thanks very much for Bookmark. I have been using the stream for years, but never knew exactly how Bookmarks worked. Very useful
Rock
explanation.
and roll. That's what I'm talking about. Perfect. We'd love to hear that. That's why we're doing these sorts of HumanWare Live tips and tricks, right? And taking it in a little bit of a different direction this week. So.
Okay, so let's just carry down the list. A number of questions are coming in. Is it possible to add link to documents in, I'm assuming that meant keyword from Tyler. Is it possible to add links to documents in keywords?
Oh, like hyperlinks?
Yeah, and unfortunately, this stage, it's not possible.
So the question was asked about blocking terminal and calculator on many devices at once. You're going to have to use mobile device management and find the proper mobile device management to do that. That would be done definitely through an MDM software. That's going to come from your administrator. And generally, that could be done just depending on mobile device management and what's offered.
Okay, let's have a look at the actual chat site, the Q&A site.
I saw one. While you look at those, Andrew, books from Learning Ally. Yes, you would download the Learning Ally app, and you can certainly work with books from Learning Ally.
Okay, so this one's from Oscar. When will you go over using Google Drive on the BrailleNote Touch Plus? So we did touch base briefly on that, but I guess we can certainly add that in one of our future webinars.
We could do a little bit of a dive. Yeah, sure. We've briefly looked at how you can upload to Google Drive, and I believe I did how you can get a file off of Google Drive. But yeah, we can certainly look at a little bit of that.
Can you add books from NLS Bard from the Bard website using the Victor Reader stream?
You can certainly download them from the Bard website, and then you would have to extract them and use, you would use either the Victor Stream Companion software, or you could get them to the device. What's a lot easier if you have a second gen stream or a Trek would be to download them directly from NLS Bard, so you don't have to utilize the computer. And that would be done through the menus, and you can do that.
And I hope that's answered Robin's question. I think the question of Robin was, would NLS offer DAISY Online services, perhaps?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if you've got, Robin, an older stream. Okay, so then we have, if I called tech support, could they get me set up of Bookshare on my Victor Reader Trek?
If you have an account, you can learn how to log in using the telephone system with the tutorials with the HumanWare Training Center. Can certainly look at how to log in. You need to have your credentials, and you can certainly, and I'll be walking through that on Thursday as well. How do you add a Bookshare account to your Victor Reader Trek /Stream 2nd generation?
A question from Mrs. Horter. Andrew, instead of turning apps on individually or unlocking them individually, can't you just turn the app locker off? Correct, you can. So if you have got multiple apps that you want to lock, but then on the occasion just allow them access to those apps, yeah, just simply turn off the app locker. Okay, let's go and ask some live questions, shall we?
Live questions. We will take a few live questions. So be ready to unmute yourself if you are muted. We will unmute you, but you will also, we're gonna get quicker. We're gonna have a we will have the 3-2-1 rule, but I don't want to invoke it too fast. But try to unmute yourselves when we come to you, and remember, please keep your questions relevant to today's topics, please.
Yes, if they're not relevant to today's questions, then please lower your hand. We do have other channels for those other questions. So I'm going to open the floor to Al Saratino. Al Saratino.
Al, welcome. Al, you are on.
Are you there, Al? Al Sarantino. Just unmute yourself. The command for unmute is it Control and
Control. Well, if you're in the Zoom meeting, if you're on a PC, yep, Control A will unmute audio. There's also unmute buttons on the iPhone app. All right, we're going to move on.
Okay, let's
Al,
go.
next time.
Okay. Okay, let's go to this one's going to be a mouthful. So we got Vif Qatar. Okay, hello Vif Qatar. Vif Qatar, are you there? Can I unmute you? Hello.
3.
Yes, hi, how are you?
We are wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine.
Great.
Fantastic.
This is Hussein from Qatar.
Awesome.
How can we help?
Yes, my question about Victor Reader trick, if it's available and support Arabic version, and if it support Arabic map or not. And I want to ask about audio bookmark, if we can add an audio bookmark. And last question, my question about dynamic menus on the stream, how I can enable it.
All right, so 3-part question. And I know, so the one that I know the answer to is the audio bookmarks. I know you can do that in Easy Reader Plus, in Easy Reader. So the answer on the Trek side is no, you're not inserting an audio bookmark. Andrew, in terms of the localizations, do you know where the localizations stand? Because I don't have that.
Yeah, on the, are you referring to the stream or the Trek?
On the Trek.
On the Trek, okay. So on the Trek, for the audio bookmark though, I think you can, or can you not set the audio? You can set an actual bookmark, an audio bookmark.
On the, like in a
Yeah, you could press and hold the record button. So when you set a bookmark.
Oh.
Yeah, when you set a bookmark, you can press and hold, or you can press the record button, and you can record an audio bookmark that way. That's probably the question that you're asking,
Yes.
Because you can do. I was thinking of like the. Yeah, I guess you're right. You are absolutely right.
And I want to note something. If there is Arabic user here, there is in VIF Qatar a playlist for Victor Reader stream training, and we are putting 14 video by Arabic tutorial for the Victor Reader stream, a new generation. And if they want to see about anything about Victor Reader, you can visit vifqatar.com.
All right.
Okay.
But do you know if they're localized?
Yeah. So the stream's suddenly localized in Arabic, but the Trek currently is not.
I don't think there's maps.
So,
yeah.
but that can be certainly discussed offline. So by all means, if you want to contact, I'm guessing you'll know some of the local sales manager at HumanWare.
Yeah.
So just contact them directly,
because
and we can.
Because they come on Qatar as before 3-4 months, and they telling we will change the provider for the map from TomTom to Google Map. If
Yes.
that's will be the Arabic version will be supported.
Yeah,
But
That's correct.
we're going to be using Here Maps, yes, and that will be something we can talk about once that upgrade sort of comes. But yeah, we're going to be switching to Here Maps.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go then
All
to the
right.
next one. We have Nolan. Nolan. Hello, Nolan. Nolan, are you there? There we go.
Nolan.
Okay, so my question is regarding the Victor Reader Stream 2nd generation. How would you know that, like, since I'm blind and visually impaired and cannot see, how would I know when I'm connected to the Wi-Fi network? Since I can't see the flashing light.
Oh, I'm blind. I'm totally blind as well. You'll get an audio note on the Victor. It'll tell you connected. It will say connected.
Okay.
You'll get.
Thank
There's
you so much.
there's no visual display. So on the
Okay.
Victor products, there's no screen. Everything is done through
Okay.
auditory feedback, and yep. So you're good to go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks, Nolan.
Thank you, Nolan.
Okay, next one then we have Joshua. Hello, Joshua.
Joshua.
Oh, there. Can you guys hear me now?
Absolutely.
Okay, just wanted to make sure because I'm more familiar with the iPhone app, but I'm using the computer, so I'm a little unsure how to do everything. But anyway, my question is these presentations. First of all, Peter and Andrew, great presentations. I'm definitely glad that I could that I could be in one today, and I'll probably be in once in the future. But my question is, like, these presentations, are they able to be? Are they going to be on the Victory or Stream HumanWare podcast, so you could just download them?
They are all there. They will be up. So we've been putting them up about 24 to 48 hours after each episode. Yes.
Oh no! Okay, no. That is very cool because I definitely want to review some of the bookmark things, because what I have here, I teach. There are a few people that I teach, and I help help learn the Victory or Stream, and I definitely think I might share this bookmark feature with a couple people.
It can be very, very useful.
So,
sure.
That's very good. So it's very good. I got to say the Stream in general is totally amazing. I've been using the Stream for forever. First generation Stream was so cool. I'll never forget the first time I downloaded my first book before the pilot website before Bard existed. I'm like, Mom, Dad, check this out. I downloaded this free book. Can actually listen to it. That's probably why. It's probably why now, Peter, I have around 2 terabytes worth of NLS Bard books on an external hard drive.
Rock and roll. Well, thanks for listening. Thanks for being here, and you can definitely find the archives on the website as well as in the podcast channel. Thanks a lot.
Got
Josh.
it. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, one more, Andrew.
Okay, let's go with. Okay, we have
maybe 2 more. We can do 2 more. We'll give a bonus. We'll give a bonus. We'll do 2 more.
Okay, so we have Mrs. Horter. Mrs. Horter.
Mrs. Horter.
Hey, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Just as an aside, my name's Faith, but I leave Mrs. Horter up because I work with kids and I really know.
No problem, Faith. We love it.
Because when you say Mrs. Horter, I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds.
Wait a second. It's very official.
Yes.
Anyways, when the other day you had talked about doing a multi-users, and so I did that. I put myself as a user on my students' BrailleNote Touch Plus. But then I'm wondering, if I'm going to do app locker so that she's locked out of certain apps, do I go in under her, or if I do it under my profile, will I be able to lock things from her?
Very good question. So the question is, you've got 2 account or multiple accounts on the Touch Plus, and you want to be able to control which apps that she's restricted to. Okay. For that, you'd need to be under her account. Unfortunately, you would not be, if you go into your account and install the app locker, you're just going to lock yourself out. So you would need to go under her account and install the app locker, and then choose the applications that you want to restrict access to.
Okay, great, thanks. I had one other quick question.
Sure.
Mentioning Audible books, and you said about working with them for direct downloads. What's the indirect download? Just you go into, are you able to do it with their app or not?
It would use, so there are methods of using the manager. You would use there's an Audible manager. Now, I don't know where that currently stands. I know it's gone through various iterations. Okay. It's been messed with. Have you worked with it lately, Andrew?
The Audible channel, the Audible site, or the Audible application on the Windows platform isn't that accessible, and we're currently in talks with them. So maybe that's what you're experiencing, some issues there with the. Well,
she's just wondering how to do it, just even how to get an Audible.
I hadn't tried it yet. But when she mentioned it, I was like, I would love to put that on for this student. But.
Yeah, you'll need to. I think you'll need to go onto the actual Audible website to do this, rather than the application on Audible. I haven't had
You're
to
gonna
play
wanna
around
use,
with it recently.
there's an Audible Manager, and it's doable. The issues we've had, there were issues with navigating within books. There were issues with even getting the books. It's just, and it has to do with how Audible authorizes and works with third-party players. So we're trying to get that remedied, but if you really need some help with getting that, I can certainly get you directed in the right spot. So if you email HumanWare Live, can work out figuring out what it is exactly you're trying to get, and in making sure that we can find a way to make that happen.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Okay, so one more. Did you say? Okay, let's go one more. So we have. Let's have a look. There's quite a few. We've got a lot of people raising their hands. So very early.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have to have some sort of a sound off or something where we can get to the tons of people that have their hands up.
So we have Linda. Linda is a name on Zoom.
Linda. I've definitely seen a couple of names that have the name several times in the Zoom meeting.
Okay, so Linda, we're gonna give you a countdown. 3, 2, 1. No, okay, we'll go one more. Let's go let's go to Christian. I know Christian's been dying to ask. Oh, we got Linda. Hello, Linda.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I've been having trouble, since we're talking about apps, getting, like when I'm reading these apps, they give you links to go read this or go read that, and sometimes they have some music apps, they'll say go do, but the problem I'm having is when I try to go into the music, it'll say not available, or do I need to go into the music file and try to hook up, or I must be doing something wrong that's not letting me hear these.
So Linda, I have no idea what you might be referring to, because there are hundreds and thousands of apps. What apps are you trying to work with, I guess, would be the question.
Okay. One of them is for my church, and they'll have like a music video or something like that. I'm wondering if I have to go into the music thing and try to do I need to?
I would probably use Chrome to do that, as opposed to some sort of app. You're probably going to want to do that through the website. And again, that will depend on what is the format of what you're trying to play. Is it a Flash? What is it?
It's like a video, and it'll talk, and it'll have somebody's voice, and for the side it'll show pictures, and it'll say.
So I'm guessing, is it something that you could use YouTube to find, or are you trying to play it through Chrome? I would use Chrome to try and interact with that. It sounds like it's something that would be hosted on a website.
Well, is there a music thing that I need to go? Because now yesterday I was trying to. This guy sent an email with MP3, and I went into it, and it said you're not hooked up. So do I need?
So if it's an MP3, you're going to want to you need to save it and then go into your file manager and choose to play that through Google Music. There are many different, you could use VLC media player. You're going to have to get some kind of a media player from the Play Store if Google Music isn't working. But the trick for those would be, if somebody emails you something, you need to save that attachment, and then you're going to play that from the file manager, and you're going to choose what app to play it with.
Oh, file manager, and then it'll say like music or.
Right, it'll say, when you press enter on it, it's going to say, what do you want to use to open this app? And you're going to have to choose the appropriate app to open it. So if it's a video or music or a document or a PowerPoint or whatever it may be, that's going to determine what application you use to open it. That's kind of how any file on a computer, on any device, requires the proper program to open that file.
I know.
If it's an embedded file, like on a website, it would play generally just on that website. But you're going, there's no step-by-step or one take or one blanket solution. It's going to depend on the type of file you're trying to access.
It was an MP3 player, and this lady was singing. They wanted me to hear this lady singing.
Yep. So what you're going to need to do is you'll need to download that, save the attachment and then open it from the file manager and choose Google Music to do that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Linda.
Thank you, everybody. We will be back on Thursday to look at a little more kind of a book theme, if you will. I guess we're going to do some adding an account, just kind of figuring out how you do that on your Victor Reader Stream 2/Trek. And then we're going to also have somebody from Benetech who will be joining us to talk about what is going on over there. Thanks, everybody. Rock and roll. Have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will talk to all soon.
Yes, and don't forget the upcoming webinars, the new special 7th of May webinar. There will be a newsletter being blasted around in the next few days with the special guests announced. Please register. You need to register to be entered to the prize draw.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Take care.